As directors, and I'll ask both of you, what does number one on a call sheet mean to you? I'll start with you, Shala.
It means taking control of your life, not in a tight way, right? In a find your purpose way, follow your pathway, overcome the obstacles of the course way, to be at the top of your game, to be excellent and strive for that always. And to create the tribe and community to bring you along and to help other people do the same. It's to be the star. And my line for this, every one of these, is who doesn't want to be number one on the call sheet in their life? And the story of this film, you hear it from 17 people who've done it, and it just inspires you to do that for you.
Love that. Reggie?
Number on the call sheet means yes, you are talented, you're driven, you're a star. It means your attachment probably gave the movie a green light, right?
Mhm.
But the optional is okay, you're number one, but are you a leader?
Mm.
And leadership means service, right? So when you hear Lawrence Fishburne tell the story about, him as a young kid on a set feeling incredibly secure, and the star of the movie says, "You're a great actor," and saving his emotional life, that's number one on the call sheet. That's the kind of leadership that is not required, but separates, yeah, I would say the men from the boys, but it works male or female. The
It
point
makes the
is,
movies better, Reggie,
makes
all
the
around.
movies better.
Yeah, it makes the movies better because you can't do it alone as a director, right? You can't.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm staying with you, Reggie.
Mhm.
You've directed some of the most culturally impactful films in Hollywood. I'm not saying black films, films in Hollywood. I want to know, how did that experience help, or did it help kind of your approach to being able to tell this story in this documentary?
Yes, it did help because I've fortunately been able to work with a lot of the stars in the movie, and seeing them at work and seeing their professionalism, seeing their skill set, and seeing that magic, right? Because you have craft, and then the camera turns on, and then something magic happens in front of you. You're like, oh, look at that. And also when you see an actor and how they work with their colleagues, how they work with the crew, all those things are can really make the difference, as Charlotte just said, between a movie being good and a movie being great. So to give them their flowers and to learn from them. And the learning isn't just for folks in the entertainment business. Anybody who wants a winner's mentality can learn from this movie.
And that's how I feel just looking at the trailer. It's like this is somebody who is this story can be told to anybody that's interested in being inspired, being motivated to do anything either better than what they are doing. So it seems very aspirational. Um,
Definitely.
I
I,
want
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing, and it's legitimately why Reggie could interview himself for the film. Like, and it's not like some bullshit vanity. Like, you know what I mean? That he's part of that ecosystem because I could not do that. But with my editor, we figured out how to use my questions in the voice because the way I was asking questions was different than other people had been, other journalists or other filmmakers with these folks. And so I wanted the women to be transparent, but my editor was like, "You're not being very transparent about your process. We're gonna work on putting your voice in because it's a conversation."
But I think I was going to ask you too, Shola, your
Shala.
Shala.
That's okay, like a shawl, shala, sing
Yeah.
song.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was gonna ask you as well. Your background is just, you have focused on, powerful Black women in history, and you have that historical background. I was gonna ask, like, when you were going into those questions, is it like just taking kind of going into that space of like that historical piece to be able to have those type of conversations or to get that dialogue?
Well, there is an art to interviewing, and I always like to challenge myself. And the challenge was that this was not a historical piece,
Yeah.
but that history was important. It was important context. Like you can see that in order to understand where the women are, well, no, actually, let me put that another way. This is a historical moment. I saw it as taking it's like a capsule moment. In this moment in time, we interviewed 17 of the top leading actresses. In 5 years from now, it'll be a different, you know what I mean, list. And so I really wanted to think of it in that way, that we were capturing this incredible moment in time, one that hasn't been captured before with any other generation of actresses, right? And you couldn't have done it in the 60s and 70s. There weren't as many that were speaking from a point of privilege, and that was super exciting. And so that was the context in which I was thinking about it. But the context is key to understanding where they are and what some of the challenges are.
What is at least one thing you've learned about the industry after? Now, you both have been in for some time, but I would like, did you learn anything after this project about the industry? Because I feel like you have so many conversations with so everybody has different experiences. I just wonder.
I want to jump in here. I learned that it's not easy for anyone. Like if you're looking for an easy ride, this is not the business for you. And so it part of what being a star and a leading actress, a leading man, is to make it look easy. But what we did in these pieces is to make transparent the work and the genius and the craft and the perseverance that it takes to get to that part of looking beautiful on a red carpet in beautiful light.
It's true. Reggie, anything?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I really struck me was how many different paths there are to success.
Mm.
You know, you got Denzel who goes, I don't even really like movies. I mean, I like the theater, right?
Yeah,
And then you got Kevin Hart, a stand-up, who's just like, wow, I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm not, and I have to keep reinventing myself and doing work to make myself better. You know, everybody thinks I'm a star, but I'm not, and I'm going to live up to people's expectations. And then you got Will Smith, a music artist, who says, I'm going to be the most famous actor in the world, and does it, right? That's three really different paths, but boy, they all succeeded. And there's lessons to be learned from that range.
that. My last question for you, if you could interview any actor who is no longer with us
Mm,
for this,
mm.
who would it be? I'll start with you. Shola.
Shala.
Did I do it? Was that
No,
you?
You did the right
I
gesture,
said
but the wrong
you had the right
pronunciation.
gesture.
I tried
Exactly.
to.
Oh my gosh.
But you said it with confidence.
Yeah, you
I
did.
did. I knew I did it.
You did it. You did. That's a tough one because there's a like I wish we hadn't missed Cicely Tyson, right? You
Mm,
know, but I would have loved to have interviewed Hattie McDaniel.
mm.
You know, she was holding it down for a certain period and she was working and, you know, but it's complicated, right? And in fact, I was, you know, I mess around in archives. I love archives or whatever. And I think it was the UCLA archive has a photographer that followed her around in the Black press, and she is living the life. Like we see her as a maid, but what we're not realizing is she was making bank and living her best life. Like we see her through majority culture eyes. What would it be like to see her? Ooh, I should talk to Octavia Spencer about we should do this through our eyes,
Yeah,
shifting the
Uh,
lens.
yeah. I love it.
I certainly agree with that. You should totally call Octavia about that. That's a great
Seriously,
idea.
now let's do it.
And it's funny because well, here's the thing. Answering your question, there's so many, but I really miss my friend Chadwick Boseman. And
Mm.
it doesn't matter what the pretext is. If I could get another 5 minutes with him, I'd be really very grateful.
Yeah, great. I understand. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mr. Hudlin, Miss Lynch. Thank you so
Nice
much for
save.
your time. Gotta finish strong. Gotta finish strong.
That's it. That's it. I love it.
Thank you so much.